Alright, we are live. This is Salty Sergeant. We are playing some more Planet Coaster on our Planet Coaster Tuesday here. We started working on this Morgan Mini Hyper, I think like 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream last week. All of my water pipes froze and had to do a lot of maintenance work on the house last Tuesday. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream and continue working on this guy. But today, I think we're going to be able to make some progress. Hopefully, I mean, I can only play for a couple hours. Got to get to school here by 11:30. But I would like to make some progress. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with how this one has turned out so far. Because we have these very elongated airtime hills right off the bat here. Coming off the first drop into our funky helix, which Morgans are... I would say Morgans are more known for having a large helix towards the end. Arrows are always a little bit weirder. And it looks like our smoothing through the last helix here didn't really save. So we'll have to re-smooth that out. Let's get started on that. So we can get that smooth, start tracking down our G-forces. And yeah, hopefully we'll be good. Yeah, we're using similar to the 4-meter method, 5-meter method, where I build it 5 meters at a time. I do 5 meters instead of 4 meters. Because a 5-meter piece of track has less limitations if you have limits turned on. You can do a lot more with a 5-meter piece of track than you can a 4-meter piece of track. That's really all it is. So if you want to do more extreme and quick movements, a 5-meter piece of track is going to work better than a 4-meter. For this one, we really aren't looking for any extreme movements, though, because it's a hyper. It's not what they're about. They're supposed to be large and majestic with big sweepy hills and big sweepy turns. Okay, that's looking better. We're probably going to need some more angle through there because it's not looking great, but at least it's traveling through there much smoother than it was. All right, let's see what our stats are right now. Actually, let me get my chats up. Forgot to do that. There we go. Just in case somebody actually wants to try talking to me. Can't imagine there's going to be too many people, but whatever, just in case. Okay. So, big points on this. Once we track down the G-forces, this is nothing like what the actual Morgan support structure looks like. So I kind of want to do a complete re-supporting of this track. I'm not sure if I'm up for that amount of work, because that's going to be very time consuming, but we'll try. I haven't done it almost at all. There's only been a few small instances where I've done custom supports. So it would be definitely a learning a learning process for me. So we might do that. We'll see. I would like to. Okay, here we are tracking lateral G-forces. Now the goal here is to keep our lateral Gs under 1, which we're not at all. Both of the turns, we're definitely going over 1. We're actually sitting at 1.6 over here and 2.1 over here. That's not great. So we're going to have to add some more banking to these turns. Especially right at top there. Which we can't actually add more banking because limits are turned on. Okay. And I don't want to turn limits off either. Okay, this just got a lot more complicated. Okay, let's start working on this one, because this one we can at least do something about. Let's get that roller coaster passed through so we can get some data on the laterals. Which, we're not getting any this time. Does it have to go through a second time? It's weird. There we go. Okay, here we are running into some laterals here. So let's see if we can add a bit more angle through here. Like that. Followed by some smoothing, so it's not nearly as harsh. It's actually increasing our angle around the rest of the turn as well, which is good. Because I do believe we're going to need some help there. Oh, that's much better. 0.5 is so much better than whatever we were at, 1.5. Looks like we're still getting a little bit here, so we can add a little bit more angle. And we've exceeded limits over here as well. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so this is going to be more difficult than what I'm used to, because I usually don't. I'm usually working on roller coasters that don't have this side toward the limit. And this is the highest point of G-forces in the roller coaster currently. So we'll do that, smooth. Come up here, smooth. That's definitely an intense turn there now. But we are going through there at a pretty high speed, and it is a pretty tight turn. So let's see if that helped anything. Oh, it did, substantially. That's just about dead on. Beautiful. Okay, so then previous run data. We're sitting a little high there. It's not too bad. May increase angle a little bit. Nope, that's decreasing angle. There we go. Let's try that. That should smooth out our G-forces through that turn pretty well. Hopefully. Oh yeah, that's much better. We were still hitting 0.8 here, which I'd like to get rid of that, but we're we are beyond limits. We can't smooth that out anymore because it's already as steep as it's going to get. Well, that was actually remarkably easy fixing that turn. This turn is going to be a pain. I am not sure how we're going to do this one. First off, this needs more angle because that does not have enough angle going into this turn. That's better. We're getting there. It still looks like it's well over 1. Not as high as it is coming out of this turn, which we still have a lot of G-forces right here. So let's try giving that a little bit more angle. Smoothing from that side. That helped a little bit. A little bit. We give this any more angle? We cannot. Give this a little bit angle. Maybe that'll help us out a little bit through here. I don't think that's actually doing anything. Did part of the train get through? One car did. Okay. Whatever. However, that means it's not going to be testing anymore. We gotta fix that. There we go. Actually, while we're at it, let's put a... Let's turn on block section. Let's see. Block section, 2 trains. There we go. Get a couple trains going. I do have enough for 3 trains, but I'm not sure if I can really justify it with the size of the lift hill. Maybe. Because he's going to be coming on the way back. He's going to be in the block breaks. Actually, that works just about perfectly. I'm pretty pleased with that. Especially with the shorter trains, so it's the only way that's you're gonna be able to get the your ridership up is having more trains. Alrighty, back to editing this turn because it is so wrong, so wrong. Which I may just reprofile the whole turn because it does get really sharp up here at the top, and that's where the peak is. I was kind of hoping it would be slowed down a little bit up there, which I guess it is. At the top of the hill, it is a little bit slower, but not nearly slow enough for what needs to happen here. So we may essentially just redo this whole turn, which I'm not thrilled about, because it looks so nice and smooth, and this transition turning from what way is that turning? From right to left here. I like the way that looks a lot, but yeah, we're gonna have to reprofile this turn. Okay. Need that, we need you. We're gonna pull these guys out. This is gonna get really ugly. My apologies. And obviously this is all going to have to get re-smoothed when we're done. Not sure if that's going to be enough of a change. We're probably going to have to redo the a good portion of the height as well. These now is more circular, which will help keep it from getting so peaky at the top there. Which hopefully we can also prevent that by making the transition a little bit smoother. Maybe. That's what we're aiming for. We'll see if we can make it work. Alright, so let's try smoothing this slightly redone curve here. See if we can get the G-forces down. Even smoothing it out is widening the turn a little bit more even, which is good. Should help with the keeping our G-forces in check. Now we're probably still going to want to keep our maximum angle on the top just to try to prevent anything from happening up there. Because I know it's going to, our G-forces are still going to peak at the top there. That's just how it works. I'm still got. Also, I'm going to have to build a support structure for this turn. Not sure how we're going to do that yet. If we want to do something more realistic where the top track is not actually connected to the bottom track, or if we want to make more of a fancy structure over here to support both the top track and the bottom track. Could result in some head chopper moments on the bottom track. It could be interesting if we do the single structure. Wouldn't be terribly realistic for a Morgan, but it would look cool. I guess that's really what matters. Come on, there we go. Okay, so let's get this transition smoothed out a little bit more. Beautiful. Okay, that turn's not looking too bad. I think it still might peak a little bit right here. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if there's much we can do about that yet, without more serious reprofiling, which we'll get to, I'm sure. Okay, so we destroyed 1.5 trains. Okay, let's try this again. Testing, edit track, heat maps for lateral G-forces. See if we tame the laterals at all. We should have with the reprofiling of the turn, but I'm not sure how much it actually helped. Helped a bit. We're still peaking right here, as I said we would. Got a little bit coming out of the turn still. A little going into the turn, like right up here. Is this more angle? There we go. Let's try that, see if that gets rid of that peak there. It probably won't. But we can try. We can try. Alright. So our next train is coming. Well, train 1 is coming, the one that's actually doing the measuring. Okay, that evened it out substantially. It's good to see. So we give this a little bit more angle through there. Looking good, looking good. We are sitting at just a little bit of a peak right here going into the turn. See if we can fix that by adding a little bit more angle there. Alright, where's our train 1? Here it comes. Maybe? Yeah. Ah, beautiful. Much better. Yeah, this profile of the turn is a lot better than the old one. We still have this problem to fix at the top here, though. Which I'm not sure if we can actually do much about. Let's get rid of this for right now. So how do we fix that? Let me raise these guys up a little bit to make it a little less severe at the top. That might work. We can try that. Alright, so if we go to lateral G's, not sure who was just measuring that. Was that the train that just went? I don't really know. Oh well. And here we're still having a little bit of an issue as well. See if we can figure this guy out. Add a little bit more banking here. Smooth banking. Smooth banking. There we go. Okay, let's move that out significantly. And we're still getting a peak here. It's getting a lot less peak, though. We're getting there. So if we raise this up a little bit, make the transition down a little smoother, we might be able to get rid of that super high peak there. I mean, now it's really bad because we obviously we're just we haven't smoothed it out yet. Well, it's a lot less peak where it was before. So that's good. That's good. Our laterals... Where are our laterals? We're still at 1.42, which is probably still right there. Because these are these are negatives over here. Which may also be counting. I'm not sure how it really counts the negative G's, it counts the negatives and the positive G's on laterals. Because we are getting this turn is pretty high in the G's as well. Actually, a bit to solve this problem here and this problem. We're going to reprofile this ESP turn so it's a little less severe. And see if we can get the G-forces in check that way. Let's get this heat map out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Right now it's super janky looking. Ooh, that is so bad. But if we can make this work, so we can have some less G-forces through there, that'll help a lot. Trying to control our laterals. Okay, let's try that. That looks super janky, but we're gonna smooth it out, see if that'll help. See if that helps at all. That's all sorts of wrong. Let's get this more angle. We want to primarily get rid of the angle by the time we're angling up. Because we don't want... Because that by itself causes a lot of lateral G's. Preventable lateral G's. They're not... We do not need those. It's actually a really nasty looking low turn. Like the way that looks. Has a really cool looking profile to it, seeing that it raises a little bit in the middle there, which probably is destroying our laterals. But you know what? That's fine. We'll get it fixed. It's actually not. Our laterals through there are really good. Pleasantly surprised. Okay. But our max laterals are still 1.42s, which is probably sitting at the peak of this turn up here. Or at the exit of this turn, right here. Okay. So we gotta see if we can get rid of these guys any more than we already have. Let's try making this downward slope even more gentle. See if we can get that to work. Which I know this is not like the best way to be doing this. But you know what, if it works, it works. Alright, so it's even widening the turn up a little bit more too, which is nice. Help control those G-forces even more. Oh, that's getting really pretty. We're getting there. We are getting there. Our max has dropped to 1.16, and that's almost acceptable. Almost. Good to see some progress there, though, at least. Because it looks like our peak now is like right there. Let me give this guy this more angle or something. More angle as he exits the turn. That's really funny that it fits in between there like that. Okay, where are we at now? 1.16 still. After tweaking with that makes me think that that's still up here on top of this hill. which we still have plenty of space. We can probably move this up a little bit more, make it even more of a gradual hill downward. I think we're going to try that. Raise these up just a little bit more, make this even more gradual. That being said, I haven't even looked at the what types of positive G's we're running through here. I've just been paying attention to the laterals. So I can imagine that the positive G's are getting quite rough through here as well. I would imagine we're probably going through this turn at like a constant 4 Gs or something stupid like that. It's going to be worse than Intimidator 305, where everybody passes out on the first turn. Because seriously, if you ever ride Intimidator 305 and you don't black out on the first turn, there's something wrong. Okay, well, that got us down to 1.08. That's not bad. Yeah, smoothing out that that downhill on that turn helps a lot. Making it more gradual. Actually, you know what I think would be really cool? It wouldn't be too useful for a blueprint, but actually if you keep the slope going down, so this side of the turn would actually be like in a ravine, like down maybe another 10-20 feet. And then this S-turn would be like kind of an uphill S-turn, but that would mess up this left turn like a lot. It would be messed up. Like real bad. It would look cool though. Which I kind of wish I could let myself go and just do stuff that looks cool, but I have to make sure it's functioning as a working roller coaster as well. I have a hard time dropping that. We're actually looking really good through here for our laterals, and our peak may actually be over here. Right here on this turn. Which again, if we even this out a little bit, the downward slope, that might actually fix that issue. Once we can just add a little bit more angle here. Which that might work. Seems to have worked. I'll take it. We're still sitting at 1.08, so it's somewhere else. Actually, right there on top. You. I bet that's our culprit right there. Let's try raising this whole turn up just a little bit, making it a little bit more gradual, especially at the beginning here. That may fix our problem. But it may not. We'll find out. Where are we sitting at? Still sitting at 1.8, so that's not it. It would have changed a little bit at least. So let's try right here. We're seeing a little peak right there as well. I'm not sure if we can really give that more angle. Oh, we can. Awesome. Unfortunately, we destroyed part of the trains. Let's do that. Edit heat maps, laterals. Okay. Let's try this again. See if we can make this work. Okay, it's all looking pretty decent. Max laterals is still 1.08, so it's not there. Must still be on the turnaround helix somewhere. I'm seeing a little bit of a peak, like right here, so that might be it. Let's see, if we go to live data, we should be able to see it. See laterals go up to 1/1 at some point. Yeah, I didn't see it. Looking for when that 0 turns into a 1. You can figure out where we're peaking. Because it might still be at the very top of this turn, which I thought we pretty much got rid of that, but... Yeah, it's right there. That's where it's peaking over 1. That is the only place on the track it is going over 1 lateral G. Okay. We may have to make this, the downslope even more gradual. Let's get the heat map turned off. And let's work on making this downslope more gradual. Excuse me. Because by doing this, we are making it turn down less sharply, and because the track is at its max angle, that is what is causing the lateral G's through here, is how quickly it's turning itself back down. Well, sideways. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. Okay. Let's highlight and start smoothing this out again. Why is that beyond the limits? Whatever. Just keep moving on. I don't really think that section of track is beyond limits of the track, but whatever. All right. So now we got that turn nice and smooth. I think one of our we blew up half of one of our trains. Yeah, let's fix that. Let's see if that fixed our lateral G problem. Hopefully. We can hope. Looks pretty decent though. pretty happy with how it looks. Not that how it looks has any bearing on how it actually performs. Max lateral G is 0.9. Beautiful! Ah, finally. We've only been working on it for, I don't know how long we've been working on this coaster. 45 minutes we've been tracking down those lateral G forces. Okay, I'm happy with that. Vertical G's. Now we need to start working with these. Which isn't too bad, actually. So our max is under 5. Our minimum is more than -1. Which is really what's important here, but I would like to make sure that our airtime hills are getting pretty consistent airtime. That would be nice. Because I saw it's had 6 times of air. Yeah, because our airtime hills, we're definitely getting airtime, but they're not consistent. So if we go here, edit track, so we have some inconsistencies from like here all the way to here. And I'm not sure if smoothing actually does anything with it. Because I'm not seeing any change in how the track looks. Yeah, it's not actually changing anything. Oh well, we're getting airtime over pretty much every hill. I really shouldn't complain too much about it. The only place I don't think we're getting airtime is right here, but I don't think we really need it there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we are getting airtime there because there are 6 moments of airtime, unless it's counting the first hill, which I'm not sure if it is. Because unfortunately, the first hill you can't make the drop's very steep on this type of roller coaster, with limits. So you can't. So it's hard to get decent airtime off the first hill. I feel like I might be able to do it if it was a little bit. If I had this top turn a little bit more gradual, I'd be able to make it steeper at a higher speed, but don't really need to. Oh yeah, this whole turn is between 3 and 4 Gs. So yeah, if this was an actual ride, people would definitely get some tunnel vision / pass out when going around this turn, because that's a lot of time in those G forces. We actually have some pretty decent ratings. Our nausea rating is just about less than 1. I wonder if there's anything we can do to get it less than 1, because that'd be pretty great. Like, this guy's really peaky right there, so let's see if we can smooth that out at all. I'm not sure if I can make that happen. I'm not sure if smoothing it is actually doing anything right now. Doing a little bit. We got a little less peaky G-force there. Brought our nausea down by 0.01s. Continue to smooth that out, see if that helps. Keep getting our nausea, because if I can get the nausea under 1, that could be really fun. Well, I say really fun, that'd be really cool to be able to get our nausea down that low on a coaster with such a high excitement. We're going to try to make the uphill on this a little bit more gradual, like that. See if we can get our negative G's more towards the top of the peak of the hill and not going up the hill. Well, that decreased them a little bit more. Let's try lowering this down a little bit more. Let's see if that worked for us. Oh, yep, there we go. We're reducing the negatives, the peak negative, quite a bit up here, and we're still maintaining a 0 to negative 0.1 G's through the rest of the hill. So let's keep working on this. See if we can get the G-forces all sorted out here. We're down to negative 0.23. It's not bad, not bad. At least on the entryway, we started at negative 0.6, I think. We're doing much better than we were. And here I know we're hitting a peak right here as well. Because I just saw that as the train was going by before, so let's try smoothing that out. Smooth the crap out of that section of track. Just smoothing all day. Because yeah, if we can get the G-forces the negative G's less peaky at certain spots on the hills, that should help our nausea rating go down. Because the smoother the ride is, the less nauseating it's going to be. Okay, so it looks like we completely eliminated the blue spot here. So we're sitting at just on like negative 0.3, negative 0.2. That's nice. I think that's what we're going to keep working on, is trying to get rid of these blue spots. Like here is very, very sharp. Let's try see what we can do to get rid of that. If anything. Because this hill by itself is very sharp and small compared to the rest of the hills. So we might have to reprofile this one a little bit, make it a little bit lower. That's much more even now, at least. What's our fear at? Still at 1.03. All right. Yeah, we might need to make this entire hill just a little bit lower. Which is kind of irritating, having to reprofile a turn this late in the build, or not a turn, but a reprofile a hill. Try to get it to be a little bit more gradual going up the hill, going back down, trying to decrease our negative G's going over it. We're looking better. That's looking a lot better than it was before. We're still in the blue though, which is not great. We're trying to make the ride less scary. Just keep smoothing the crap out of this section. You may need to even lower it a little bit more. Oh. We have Gmail up apparently, just making noises at me. Let's get rid of that for right now. Don't need Gmail up. That one's streaming. Okay, let's try lowering this hill just a little bit more. See if we can get rid of those more extreme G-forces that we're experiencing through here. Okay, the hill's looking much lower, much smoother all around. Still getting a little bit of the blue, but we're only seeing it -2 now. So we're getting there. We're lowering the negatives a little bit. Which I know if you're a lot of enthusiasts, roller coaster enthusiast types get angry when roller coasters do this to try to decrease the maximum negative G's. Because a lot of the enthusiast types want the maximum negative G's they can get, and they all think that Steel Vengeance is the best roller coaster ever because of how much time it tries to fling you out of your seat. I don't know. I always like myself some very large, smooth transitions and more floater airtime. But that's me. What do I know? Okay, so we have Train 1. Where's Train 1? Train 1 is coming? Maybe? Yeah, there it is. I mean, on the plus side, this hill is getting very low and very smooth. Okay, that decreased it just a little bit more. Try lowering it just a little bit more. Which I'm not sure how much this is actually affecting the rest of the ride, too, because with the smaller hill, it might be maintaining more speed through here. I don't know, maybe. Maybe. Ah, there we go. -0.15, no blue. We are good. Okay, now we're only getting like a little speck of blue on this guy, so let's see if just smoothing this guy out a little bit will actually take care of that. It may. Yep, it did. Beautiful. -0.25. That's a beautiful amount of airtime. And we're no longer peaking. We don't like peaks in our G-forces. We want things to be nice and smooth. Okay, let's see, what else? Where are we sitting at? Minimum vertical G's, we're only sitting at 0.6, which isn't bad. We still have some smoothing out to do on a couple of these hills. Like this one, we're still hitting a peak going up the hill. And this one's weird because we have a peak on this side of the hill and on this side of the hill, but not at the top of the hill. So this is what we're going to do. We're actually going to increase the height here a little bit. And then re-smooth it out. Because that's a location where we're just not getting the G-forces with the rest of the hill. And once it's smoothed out, if it's still blue, then we can lower the whole hill as a whole. And try again. Try to get our G-forces more consistent. It looks like that helped a little bit. We're still sitting a little high for our G-forces for negative G's going over this hill, which is, I mean, it's the first airtime hill, so I would suspect that to be the case. Okay. Because for the most part, we've done a pretty good job of keeping this thing pretty low to the ground for the hills and airtime. Okay, so let's see. Let's try decreasing the height a little bit there, and decreasing the height a little bit there, and re-smoothing. Because with the G-forces, if we track down the G-forces and try to make the G-forces as smooth as possible, the hills, you know, just visually, the hills will look much more smooth. Which is always nice if the roller coaster looks nice. So if you think about it, roller coasters are more about the spectacle anyways. They're fun, yes, but they're very much about being big, impressive, and being a spectacle. We have some train problems happening. Something happened. Oh, we have a single car over here. There we go. Let's do that. Yeah, you don't... Hey, Blames? Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, you don't see too many Morgans. That's why I thought I'd work on one, because they're not common. You do working on a Hyper Mac. You know, I do like the looks of the Macs. I have to admit the Machs. My mistake. I'm pronouncing it wrong. Keep seeing Mac. It's like because it's not Mac. It's Mach. But yeah, no, the Mach Hypers are really cool. I'm not sure how many of those are there in real life. Actually, I'm not even sure. I do like Mach rides quite a bit. I don't think I've actually had a chance to ride one though. Because I know, what is it? Carowinds is getting one this year, so maybe I'll head over there at some point. Maybe this year. Probably not this year. Probably next year. I'll head down there. Because I am quite interested because I haven't gotten a chance to ride one. They're just not very common in the U.S. Hopefully, we start seeing a lot more in the U.S. with, because I know, especially with Cedar Fair getting rid of some of their Intamins, particularly Volcano, which I'm very sad about, because that was a great ride. Okay, what do we do? Vertical G's, there we go. Okay, we're getting just a little peak right there. We're going to set to smooth that out. So right now we have pretty consistent G-forces over the entire turn, so let's actually raise it up a little bit. I'm not sure how exactly this is going to affect it, but we're going to try. This should give us slow us down a little bit more going over the top. So hopefully we'll even it out a little bit more. We'll see. And I do have quite a large section of track here that I'm working on, but... Oh, you got Blue Fire? Blue Fire at Europa Park. Oh, we went to Fantasia Land. Yeah, I do know of that one. Yeah, Tyron is pretty legit looking. That is a... Fantasia Land does have some pretty decent looking coasters. Actually, aren't they connected to the Ferrari Park as well? Ferrari Land or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's actually called, but... But yeah, they got a lot of top-notch coasters out there. Oh, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Okay, by raising the hill a little bit, that actually didn't help us very much. So this section is a little less forceful, so let's try bringing that up a little bit. See if we can smooth this whole hill out a little bit here. Hopefully, maybe. But yeah, with the Mach rides, the only one I've really done with Mach, I had this really little roller coaster I made. It ended up being close to, I think it ended up being like a kilometer long, but it topped out at like 15 meters. It was a tiny little ride. But it had like 3 or 4 launches, I think. I don't remember. It was extra though. Yeah, Red Force. Which Red Force is that one uses magnetic launch, doesn't it? Because unlike the other versions of that Intamin makes, because Intamin usually makes them with hydraulic launch. So using the magnetic launch, I'm sure it's much. Actually, I'm not sure how much better that would be, because I know how violent the hydraulic launches are, and they are quite violent. They are not friendly. Yeah, Red Force looks pretty decent though, because I think that's the yeah, because that beat out Fury 325 for the tallest and fastest roller coaster between 300 and 400 feet. Yeah, because I've ridden Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point, and that one is, I think that was like, what, 420 feet tall? That one's a little ridiculous. Okay. We're actually decreasing our total airtime duration doing this. I don't like that. Coming out of this, we're smoothing the ends so the turn just keeps getting, or not the turn, but the hill keeps getting smoother and smoother, to a point where we're getting less and less airtime. We don't want that. We want the airtime. Okay. That hill has actually gotten considerably taller. And it actually hasn't reduced our G-forces at all. I think it's actually increased our G-forces by making this hill taller. Furious Baco with an Intamin wing with hydraulic. Interesting. I haven't gotten a chance to ride any of the Intamin wing coasters yet. Interesting. Yeah, the LSMs, I'm not sure how I feel about the LSMs. I don't think I've ever actually ridden a roller coaster with LSM launch. Because that's what Mach uses, right? Is the LSMs? Because I've ridden a few of the other ones. What's the other ones? There's LSM and then there's LIM. I think it's the LIM motors. Because I've ridden some of the LIMs. The other type of electronic, the other type of magnetic launches. They're not bad. It's always funny because in my local park, Kings Island, they have two premier rides actually, so they're LSMs. Well, not LSMs, LIMs. Whichever the older version is. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite coasters. That's like one of the... Everybody thinks it's like the worst coaster in the park, and it's like, it's one of my favorite. Okay, that actually got our G-forces pretty consistent over the top there at negative 0.5. Pretty pleased with that. See if we can get that over here a little bit by decreasing the height here. If you can get that, start getting that airtime a little bit earlier in the hill. But we do have a pretty high peak of G-forces right there at the bottom, which isn't great. So we still want to keep our maximum G's at less than 5. Which I think there is actually a roller coaster that has, that peaks out at like 7 G's, which is stupid. I think it's in like South Africa. I don't remember. Okay, but by smoothing that hill out a bunch, we actually decreased our fear a little bit more. I think we decreased our excitement a little bit too, but that's okay. Okay, now this hill, I'm still working on trying to figure out how this guy, because we're hitting a lot of negative G's going up the hill. Which I think if we raise this up a little bit to try to make it more a smoother transition going to the top of the hill, that might work. I'm not sure how well this even works. This is my first time really trying to smooth out the hills this way. So we'll see. In theory, that should work. Get a little bit more... Yeah, that's better. Let's try working that a little bit more. I'm trying to make it a little bit more gradual going up the hill. And that didn't work at all. now the train broke in half. Oh well. But yeah, trying to make it a little bit more gradual going up the hill so we can get more airtime towards the top and the back side of the hill. Hopefully that works. Our vertical G's. And here comes train 1. Fantastic. No, we're getting there. We're evening it out a little bit more. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try lowering this a little bit. I'm trying to think how's the best way we can do this. Actually, let's try increasing the height a little bit here to decrease the radius going up the hill. And that'll decrease the radius at the very peak top of the hill here. So our maximum airtime moment should be at the very top of the hill now, hopefully. Actually, that is remarkably even. However, we are sitting positive here, which is not what I want. So let's try to bring this down just a little bit, coming down the hill a little bit more. Maybe that'll give us a little bit more airtime coming down the hill. I'm kind of enjoying building a roller coaster that isn't built full of weird twisty turns, because using the smooth all function is much more useful now. Because trying to use the smooth all function on roller coasters that have a lot of hilly turns. Ah, there we go. So now we're keeping a 0.0 going over the top. Beautiful. But a lot more hilly turns makes it much more difficult to use these smoothing functions, because it always ends up smoothing out something you don't want it to. But on track that's just going straight over hills, it seems to work pretty well. Alright, so that is not bad. We're pretty consistent for our G-forces across just about every hill. The most extreme hill is going to be our first one, where we're getting negative 0.5 for a considerable chunk of space over that hill, which is not bad. I'll take it. And that's the only time on the track where the G-forces are turning blue there. Three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're still at 6 moments of airtime. Our total airtime duration actually increased a little bit. Excuse me. Increased a little bit with reprofiling of this hill. That's nice. Our nausea is still at 1.02. I'm not sure if we can get that down to less than 1. No, stop that. Do we adjust that at all? I don't think we did. It's fine. It's in a little peak G-force, so let's smooth this out a little bit. Hopefully that smooths out the G-forces. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how the layout of this one and how everything's turned out. Now comes the issue of the fact that these supports are not Morgan supports at all. I don't even know how to make Morgan supports, because they're usually they're similar to the Aero supports, where they'll have the normal these normal supports for most of the track, but on the larger hills, like the lift hill, and probably like the three larger hills over here, they'll have more of a lattice support structure. And I don't even know if we have that type of stuff in the game. I'm sure we do. I haven't spent a lot of time building custom supports, or even where they would be. So it's not in. Is it in building instead of scenery? No, we don't want blueprints. We want custom. Walls, framework. Okay. Okay, we do have crossbeam supports. So we could, in theory, make this work. What are the crossbeam supports attached to? Just anything? Do we have any square supports? So we have connectors. Those are small supports. That attaches to the track itself. We have some footers, some scaffolding. I don't know, scaffolding might work, but I don't know. Hold on, I need to pull up a picture of what's going on here. Because I think I've only ridden like one Morgan. And that was Steel Force at Dorney Park. I've got a picture of it up over here. So let's go. Let me find images. No, not Steel Dragon. I don't care about Steel Dragon. Steel Dragon might... Is Steel Dragon Morgan as well? It might be. Hold on. For some reason I had stuck in my head that Steel Dragon was like a Togo. One of the last Togos ever built. Hold on, I need to do some research on this real quick. No, that very much looks like a, does not look like a Togo. That looks like a Morgan. The track looks like a Togo track, though. It doesn't look like Morgan track. Let's see. Yeah, it's built by Morgan. Yeah, and it has the steel support structure for the first couple large hills. Okay. Interesting, interesting. So I'm not sure, let's see, I'm not sure what would be the best way to do this. It'd be these guys with the cross beams? Maybe. Because these all work on a grid. The cross beams do not. But the cross beams do work with these. So what are... let me go find that image again. A really good image of the support structure on this darn thing. Yeah, that might be what we need to do. Let's come up with like the actual vertical poles are small and round, but I don't think we have anything that's that small. Actually, that might work, but it doesn't work on a grid, so it's going to be a real pain to do. But the streetlight poles are roughly the right size. So if we have like streetlight poles, let's see. What else do we have that can work for this? Because the scaffolding, we can just make the scaffolding essentially go to the top like that, and that'll work if we need to attach scaffolding to it. This guy doesn't attach to anything technically anyways, so that could work. And that would work for that sort of thing. So we would have footers, we would have support beams and cross beams. I do miss Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 because there was a mod that you could get just like generic pieces, like beams, that kind of like these wooden beams, but you could have them angle like we have. Yeah, but you could have like these 8-meter beams, but you could have 8-meter beams that angle, or they were longer than 8 meters, that moved over 4 meters and up 8 meters, and that's exactly what I need for this sort of this structure. But this game just doesn't have them. Actually makes me curious if somebody else has created something like that. Because I know you can make custom scenery now. So we're gonna look into that real quick. Let's leave up Steel Force. Let's look up Planet Coaster custom scenery. And you know what? Honestly, if I can't find anything that looks correct, I'm taking a 3D modeling class right now. I should be able to make essentially what I'm looking for here without too much difficulty, which could be kind of fun actually. Making an Arrow and Morgan support structure pack. That could be really cool. Wonder if anybody would actually be interested in watching me build that, because I know, I'm not sure if 3D modeling is very popular on streaming. It might be. I know programming is for some reason, but which I've never found programming to be very terribly interesting, but that's me. Then again, I've done enough programming to know how not interesting it actually is. Unless you're doing, like, actually working on a fun project, it's not that fun. And I can't think of any really fun projects to be working on. Yeah, okay. Where even do you download that stuff? Is that all on Steam, I think? Where is Steam? I've got Steam around here somewhere. I'm sorry I'm getting a little distracted here. I'm just... because I want to do this roller coaster justice and have the correct support structure, and it's not here. Okay, so we are at Planet Coaster. We need Steam Workshop, I think. For Planet Coaster. Which that didn't actually do what I wanted it to do. Okay, let's try that again. Where do we need to go? You know, I always have an issue with Steam, trying to figure out how to navigate Steam. I have to be like the only person that has this problem. Let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot that Planet Coaster actually came out with the F25 coaster, which I haven't really gotten to play around to play with yet. Which is essentially just a B&M sit-down coaster, isn't it? So that's not too bad. We can work with that. Actually, there is one one B&M I wouldn't mind rebuilding or recreating in the game, and that's what is it? Vortex? Vortex from Carowinds. It's relatively small, not too complicated. But I feel like that would actually lend itself very well to being put in the game because, again, it's not very big. It's pretty compact. So that might actually work pretty well. Okay, here we go. So if we go to Planet Coaster for this, we have some roller coasters, which I'm not too worried about that. We have need theme maker's toolkit. How do I look up just theme maker's toolkit stuff? Is there a way? There is 1,800 items in the theme maker's toolkit. All right. We have flooring, pop-up, boom barrier, spooky jungle plants, a bunch of Disney stuff. Not quite what I'm looking for. So if we look up supports, we have office supplies, which is actually pretty funny. Neon tubes, that's actually pretty nice. I wonder if they work like they should. That'd be pretty slick if they actually lit up. Road pieces, bus stops, road pieces. We only have 5 pages of supports, which it looks like there might not actually be any custom supports. We have catwalk electrical boxes, that's nice. Ski lift support structure pieces, that's nice. Tube slide supports. Intamin trap connectors, oh that's nice. Flash unit, that's nice. Like a strobe light, I would imagine. It's not bad at all. A bunch of city building type stuff, windows, doors, a bus stop, road signs. Yeah, I'm not seeing any actual custom supports. Huh. Okay. So that might be what we're doing doing on Thursdays, starting our 3D modeling with custom supports. I'm not exactly sure how to use the toolkit, the ThemeMaker toolkit, but if I could, I don't know, make a theme, essentially, and have a collection of items in there, such as the essentially large versions of the coaster support crossbeam, small circular tubing, kind of like the street light posts, but made specifically to work with the cross beams. And then supports for the top of it, so you have something to attach to the top of it, to attach it to the track. I feel like that is something that this game needs. So I feel like that's what we're going to be working on next time. You know, I know, as much as I enjoy playing Forza on Thursdays, I think we're going to be doing some 3D modeling on Thursday to try to learn how to work the ThemeMaker's toolkit. Because the track layout is done with this, but I'm really not happy with the supports and my options for supports on this ride. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So for right now, we're going to call it quits for today. I will be streaming again on Thursday morning. So please come by and visit. I appreciate it if you did. If you enjoyed watching and or just want to stop in and watch me do some 3D modeling on Thursday, yeah, hit like, follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. I don't know which one does what, because I am streaming on several different platforms right now. So please follow me, subscribe, like, let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see me do in Planet Coaster. I do like building realistic roller coasters and then making blueprints out of them. Unfortunately, with a ThemeMaker toolkit, I'm not sure if I would be able to transfer my custom built items into the blueprint, or people would have to download my custom items for the blueprint. I would have to put that in the description. Whatever, we'll have to play around with it, see if we can make it work. Alright, so thanks for stopping by, and hopefully I will see you guys on Thursday. Thanks, and have a good one.